the hornets dance, snap back caps, pep rallies, ready, spirits never lack, thoughts and pride with style in the swag sack. In the quad, we ain't never gonna stop. In the quad, we always on top. In the quad, feel the music drop. In the quad, roots run deep.
What's going on, HBCU family? It is Thursday, November 14th, and you are locked into a brand new episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. I am your gracious host, Nick Eden, and we are back with another show. First, really quickly, thank you. Yesterday, let me just go ahead and say, yesterday I was not feeling it. Without going into a bunch of detail, I got some bad news, and I really needed to take a break. Like I got some news that, while it is not completely like devastating, it's devastating enough. It was devastating enough, and I needed to take a mental break. So yesterday, I just took some time. I got a chance to talk to my daughter. Shout out to you, Kayla. She is home, so I'm excited about that. So I have not seen my baby since she went off to school. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to spend some daddy-daughter time with Kayla and Paige. So yeah. I needed it. I needed it very badly, and I appreciate everybody. I know that sometimes that doing these shows and doing them, and y'all have to forgive me because I am in the middle of, like, quite literally, I fumbled the bag on today's show, y'all, because I thought I had everything set up for the show today, and I didn't. I screwed the pooch on that, and I didn't realize that until I signed in. I keep telling y'all, man, it's live. It's the blackest show on TV right now. So so as we talk, I'm also like loading the graphics that I should have loaded like this morning. But nonetheless, so yeah, I got that mental time that I needed. And I was in a position to where I was able to get some rest, talk with my family, figure out the next steps that needed to be taken based on the news that we got. And, just from here, let's see, I'm screwing up, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, from here, just moving forward. But sometimes you need that brain break. Sometimes you need that chance to kind of reset. So I appreciate you all for allowing me grace. I know it's a little bit difficult because what I do is I do trending topics. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to see a replay on something that I did like 2 weeks ago when we're, talking about what's new and what's going on now. And for those who are tuned in for the first time, my goodness, welcome to In the Quad with Nick Eden. I promise you I'm a lot more prepared than this on a normal basis. But But at In the Quad with Nick Eden, what we do is we talk about the hottest trending topics across the entire HBCU landscape. That's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter/X, Fizz. So Hardy, one of the co-founders of HBCU Plus, Urban Edge Network. Are you paying attention? I've been telling you about Fizz for months now. But I'm glad that you're on board. Yes, we do talk about stuff. Now, I'm not on Fizz. Let me go ahead and say that real quick. I'm not on Fizz, but I am very dialed into what's going on Fizz. Shout out to the students that are on Fizz who always hit me with all of the great trending topics, the things they're talking about, because I recognize that sometimes as alums, we get like really far away from like what's really going on in the HBCU landscape. And so to be able to actually, oh wow, that's new. To be able to actually go in and talk about these things that the students are actually talking about, to me, that is invaluable. And it's something that I want to make sure that we continue to do, because I want to make sure that we continue to. I screwed something up. I want to make sure that we continue to provide those voices to the students that are watching. So, shout out to those students over on Fizz, and shout out to everybody who's been tuning in. So, again, how this works is really simple. At Inequality with Nick Eden, we cover those main topics. We condense them down to 4 main topics that are the trending topics. That's the first part of the show. The second part of the show, which is my absolute favorite, is our fam topics. And our fam topics are the questions and comments that you, the viewer, have actually submitted. Now, I got a question about this the other day. I was asked why I only do about 4, maybe 5 fam topics when it comes to doing that part of the segment. It's only an hour show, y'all. And I mean, like, sometimes I will switch it up because, in fairness, I have days where I have more fam topics than others. Sometimes y'all don't write in but like 2 or maybe 3, but the day before you did 6 or 7. And so I keep it condensed to like 4 or 5 just to make sure that we're in time with the amount of time for the show. And then I move those fam topics over to the next day that I didn't get to cover. So just to kind of, let everybody know so they don't think that, I'm just out here not reading your stuff. If you want to get your stuff on fam topics, it's really simple. All you got to do is just head over to my socials at Nick Eden on Twitter /X, at Nick Eden on Instagram. Click the link tree in the bio and submit your questions. If it's appropriate, I will read it. If not, ain't nothing doing. So let's get into our first main topic. And our first main topic, maybe it'll come up, maybe it won't. This is what I get. Y'all. This is all on me. All right, so we don't have the graphic for our first. Listen, I'm just gonna read it off. Our first main topic, I think, is one that is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I talked about this team just a few days ago, and they're still out there killing it. Shout out to the young man Brian Moore Jr., who was named HBCU Plus Player of the Week. Norfolk HBCU Hoops team enters mid-major top 25 poll. Shout out to our good folks over at HBCU Game Day. Look, listen. I know that a lot of times it's really popular nowadays to not like HBCU Game Day. I get that. But they are dropping some great content, not only on the YouTube channel, not only on their new show on Fox Soul, but the website in general. I mean, y'all, the news articles are hitting every single day. So the Norfolk State men's basketball team has made its way back into the national rankings. The Spartans earned the number 25 slot in the latest collegeinsider.com men's mid-major top 25 poll released by the website on Monday evening. Norfolk State 3-0 is the only, well, they're not 3-0 anymore. They did get their first loss. They're only HBCU featured in the rankings. Entering its 26th season of existence this year, the mid-major top 25 poll is made up of teams from the following conferences: American East, Atlantic Sun, Big Sky, Big South, Big West, Coastal Athletic, Conference USA, Horizon, Independence, Ivy, Metro Atlantic. Gosh, all of them. The MEAC and the SWAC are obviously the only two HBCUs that are HBCU conferences that are listed there. But again, and I've said this time and time again, y'all have got to stop sleeping on HBCU hoops. Okay, I just saw this. Ms. Mac, shout out to you. Everyone needs self-care time. I appreciate that. I really do. I've been saying all the time, y'all, we get so concentrated and we're so in love with football, and I get it. We're so in love with football that sometimes we do completely miss over what's going on the basketball side. And I'm telling you, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball. We are racking up wins on Power 5 conferences. So if you're not watching those shows, I'm telling you, you're missing out. Like, you're really, really missing out. If you're not watching those games, and if you're in the area, go to the game. Like, what else do y'all do? I've never seen a collection of folks where you'll be in the city or within 30 to 40 minutes from the area, right? 30 to 40 minutes from where the game is. I literally will watch people get on Twitter or Facebook and post about the game and not go to the game. Y'all, the games are affordable. Look, the games are affordable. Please go support the teams. They need it. They really need that support. They need y'all out there. So shout out to Norfolk for making the mid-major top 25. We're going to take our first commercial break. And hopefully by the time I get back, my graphics are actually on point. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Technology lets you monitor your pet when you're not at home. But to monitor threats to your hybrid workforce wherever they are, you need more than technology. You need CDW, who gets to know your business and can design and deploy custom solutions with pre-configured HP notebooks with HP Wolf Security. AI-enabled threat detection and remote management protect your endpoints 24/7, giving your defenses some real teeth.
Bummer.
HP makes always-on remote security possible. CDW makes it powerful.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, "You're gonna love this." He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, "These cars are going fast," I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue, with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. Listen, it's 15 after the hour, guys. I may have screwed this up. You never know. We're gonna see in a second. We're gonna try. I got so look. I got everything going. I got my setup going right here, right? And then I got my darn. Yeah, I screwed it up. It's all good. Players F up 2. Well, this is what happens. Usually I try to get all this stuff in the day before. And at worst, get it this morning. So on my end, just to give y'all like a push in the back. Jay, yes, I did get your DM. I'm waiting on a text back right now. I'm waiting on that back, and then I will actually text you. But so yes, y'all. On my end, I can't see the graphic. But apparently y'all can see it. So apparently that whole time I was talking, y'all can see it. So it's all good. It's all good. This is life. This is what's got going on right now. All right, y'all. So let's go to our next main topic, which I'm not even gonna try to pull it up. I don't want to screw it up. Listen. Now, I know that for a lot of y'all, including myself, like I'm not even gonna hold you. This ain't a I can see both sides of it. I did not want Donald Trump to win this election. And now that Donald Trump is in office, there's a lot of questions about what's going to happen when it comes to HBCUs, how we're going to be able to navigate this. And, so yeah, this comes to us from Times Higher Education. And this is Trump presidency with access to grind spells danger for U.S. sector. Academics warn that the Trump administration of retribution could affect many aspects of higher education, including loan forgiveness, diversity efforts, and student protests. So a second Donald Trump presidency will be salt in the wound for U.S. colleges that have had a few difficult years and now face a president with access to grind, according to academics. The Republican candidate's comfortable victory over Kamala Harris, and they ain't have to put that in there. They ain't have to put in there that it was a comfortable victory. I'm saying, was seen by many as a horrific outcome for the sector. Here's the deal. I'm gonna break this down real quick. I brought this article up because it does affect us from the standpoint, and it's just time for us to have a good conversation about this. What President-elect Trump says he's going to do is he's going to close the Department of Education and kick everything, including the funding, back to the states. Those of us who are HBCU alums, students, faculty, and administration, we know very well that the states haven't been the friendliest to us when it comes to funding to begin with. And so this article actually brought up a discussion that was happening on Facebook, which is why I included it. For a few reasons. One, 70% of Black folks are Pell Grant recipients. That's a federal Pell Grant, not a state one. You close the Department of Education, it leaves up in the air what becomes of the Pell Grant. Like, that's now up in the air, okay? The second thing that puts us in kind of misnomer was this whole any schools that teach diversity, equity, woke DEI, all this stuff. Again, we are historically Black colleges and universities. Yes, this is going to affect us. We saw just this year how many HBCUs, or not how many colleges in general, removed or changed the name of their DEI departments. And we also saw what happened with the Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action. So it puts us in a place where it can get really scary. But the thing that got me the most in all of this, which is what sparked everything with this conversation, was the fact that what Donald Trump said he would do was that the schools who were in violation of that, he would go after their endowments. This is why I tell you all, elections have consequences. Our endowments aren't very big at all. They're just not. Howard has the biggest. But even in that, Howard, it pales in comparison to any of the Ivies out there, some of your top 25, top 50 institutions. It's just not big. I look at Alabama State. Our endowment is what, 125 million. Well, actually, I think it's closer to 130 million now, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked. But what we're running into is a situation where he's saying he's coming after the endowments and will use them to pay restitution. FBA, ADOS, Twitter. Yeah, he's saying he's going to pay reparations to the people affected by it, not us. So now we put ourselves in position where for the next 4 years, a good friend of mine brought it up last night. For those of us who are part of Greek letter organizations, he was like, look, for the next 4 years, we about to get hazed in this piece. But I say all that to bring up, I can't tell you, in my mind, I would love to tell you that it doesn't matter who you vote for, just vote. That's what I've been saying for years. I'm stopping that crap. This is ridiculous. This dude just appointed, or is planning to appoint, Lauren Boebert to as Secretary of Education. Insane. Lauren Boebert, who has a GED, nothing against people with GEDs, but she failed the GED test 3 times. And that's the person that you want to have over education. Y'all, we got to get in a position now where we can really hunker down, and we got to grind out these next 4 years. And if he's talking about kicking stuff back to the state, you need to be looking at your HBCU and your home state if you're not staying in the same state as your HBCU. What elections are happening next year? Is it municipal? Is it state senate? Is it state house? Because if this power is going to be kicked back to the state, then this is the time where we have to get really serious about these local and state elections. We got to deal with this dude for the next 4 years. But if this stuff is going to be left up to the state, this is the time where we organize. So I wanted to use this segment and talk about this article and how much, because think about it like this. If the PWIs are scared about what is about to happen, what do you think is going to happen to the HBCUs? I want you to really think about that. If the predominantly white institutions and the minority serving institutions and the Hispanic serving institutions are scared about this, what do you think is going to happen to the HBCUs? If it doesn't put anything else in your mind, think of it this way. The term HBCU is not just some shit that we came up with and start calling it. If I'm being honest with you, and maybe it's just the thing about me being older, I told y'all I'm 26 plus shipping and handling. But it's not just a term that we came up with. We didn't just coin things as PWI. These are federal designations by the Department of Education. If he succeeds in getting rid of the Department of Education, the reason that these federal designations exist is because of the allocations of funds that come from the federal government. And if he's gone, if it's gone under him, that means really now these are just nicknames. HBCU is just a nickname. PWI is just a nickname. PBI, predominantly black institution, just a nickname. MSI, HSI, these are just nicknames now. And there's no federal designation, thus no federal funds allocated. And the majority of HBCUs are in the South. In states where they are currently, even though they've been shown to owe billions of dollars, they are currently withholding money that is owed. What do you think is going to happen to the money that should be allocated going forward? That's something to think about, folks. It really is. Look, we're going to go into our next commercial break. And when I get back, in the midst of all of this, we have record enrollment. Are we in position to handle it? That's what we're going to be talking about when we get back in a quad with Nick Eden.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push.
You better
When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, Come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, "You're gonna love this." He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, "These cars are going fast," I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. It is 28 minutes after the hour. We are in our main topics. This one I wanted to bring up because it's one thing when we have these conversations. It's another thing when some of these other institutions of higher education start to dissect our enrollment size, how we cope with the enrollment size, the whole nine. So this article started trending on LinkedIn. And normally I just talk about the social media platforms, but LinkedIn really for the business professionals, this one kind of hit really hard and a lot of people got to talking about it. And it's from the Chronicle of Higher Education. And it's talking about how surging enrollment prompts new challenges for HBCUs. For the third consecutive year, enrollment at historically Black colleges and universities is up. The increase is almost 6% this fall compared with 2023, according to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center. By the way, there's some really, really good information about HBCUs that National Student Clearinghouse puts out. If you got some time to read, I would most definitely say head over there and start reading some of that research. It gives you a great insight into where we are in the pantheon of higher education and where we can go. Meanwhile, the rest of higher ed is seeing enrollment decline, especially among Black students. This is an important part of it because we are in a surge. We've been up 6% while everybody else is going down across the board, but definitely amongst Black students. But outside growth for HBCUs is presenting a new challenge, forcing them to reconcile or forcing them to reckon with how to best continue serving a historically disenfranchised group of students. And it goes on to talk about Cameron Mills, who was is a 19-year-old Morgan State engineering student. Shout out to Morgan State. So essentially, what the article is saying, because it's a very long article and it would take the rest of the show to read it. We're in a culture and identity crisis right now. There are many who believe that because we're growing at the exponential rate that we're growing, that the culture of being smaller institutions is starting to get lost. And there are people on the outside and the inside that fear that in the midst of this, we will lose our identities as HBCUs. Let me tell you why I do not agree with that. First, when you look at a place like West Virginia State University, now Bluefield's a little different, the folks at Bluefield, but West Virginia traditionally, it's just, it ain't a whole bunch of Black folks there, but you got two HBCUs there. You got Bluefield and you got West Virginia State. West Virginia State has made a very targeted effort. I've spoken to their admissions people several times over the last couple of years, a couple of other folks in faculty, and how important it is for them to remain, even though they are numerically majority white, to keep their culture as an HBCU. I see two problems with this growth. The first is that we don't have the dorms to match it. We've talked about that on this show. The schools have addressed it. Shout out to Jackson State with their wonderful new laws. I'm like, can I rent one of them joints the next time in Jackson? Goodness gracious. Shout out to Alabama State, who just bought 4 new buildings they're going to be breaking ground with and building new dorms. And the other schools out there, the ones that have partnerships with hotels. So we had to address that part, right? That's the first thing. The second thing, we have to address that in order for us to get to the point where we're now thriving, because we're not going to get it on the money that's owed to us, clearly, especially not over the next 4 years. Elections have consequences. But we are going to be in a position where driving that enrollment up is going to be the key factor in us thriving and not just surviving. As we expand to more online programs, I can absolutely see why people are saying, oh, we might not be able to preserve the culture. But I do think that we have way too many examples of that to show that that's not the case. When you look at Harvard, for instance, Harvard, they've got their Harvard extension. They established a completely separate. Now, some people don't like this, but some people are like, no, it makes sense. They've established a completely separate culture for Harvard Extension, which is their online programs, versus your traditional Harvard. So even to the point that Harvard Extension has its own separate alumni association. Now, some people say, well, that, I went to Harvard Extension because I wanted the Harvard name. But essentially, you went to Harvard Extension. Like it is what it is. Your degree, it says Harvard Extension. Your alumni status is Harvard Extension. They were very concerned with preserving the culture of Harvard, which, in fairness, in the past has been really problematic when it comes to the Ivy League schools. However, taking the time and building on a culture that's specifically for Harvard Extension, I do think is a good example of what you can do. Now, am I saying that when Alabama State launches ASU Global Campus, that it has to be completely separate and you don't have the same, access as a normal Alabama State alum will have? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that when it comes to establishing a culture, you can still preserve your culture and expand and grow, right? I talked about this before. Right now, there are nearly 40 million Americans that are classified SCNC, some college no credential. Hey, a lot of that is Black folks. Come on in. We got white alums. We got Asian alums. We got Hispanic alums. Come on in. Come on in. Come and join. Understand what this degree from Alabama State can do for you, or understand what this degree from Jackson State can do for you. I joked about this on a show that I was on a couple of weeks ago that I won't mention, but I talked about the fact that, I did speak with the admissions folks at Jackson State about their executive PhD. And quite frankly, I joked around. I'm like, well, shoot, does that mean I'm welcome to the tailgate now? If I do decide to go that route? Sure, because it doesn't mean that just because you didn't walk the halls, or just because it's expanded and more people are walking the halls, that you're going to lose that culture. It is something that is on the faculty, it's something that's on the staff to make sure you maintain that culture. But expanding is not a bad thing. I don't think we're going to come into a culture crisis. I don't think that to be the case at all. I think when you look at a place like North Carolina A&T, Tennessee State, Howard, that have enjoyed this exponential growth in enrollment, they've been able to do so by while still maintaining the culture and what got them to the dance to begin with. Let's be real, y'all. The majority of our schools really and truly average between 5,000 and 7,000 students. Well, really, no, it's less than that. As I say, I think you're really talking the majority of our schools between like 2 and 5. When you start getting to 6,000 and 7,000 into that realm, yeah. But would I love to see Alabama A&M with 15,000 students? Absolutely. Would I love to see Alabama State with 15,000 students? Absolutely. Would I love to see the same with Jackson State, with Tennessee State, with A&T, I love to see it, right? But recognize that that doesn't mean that's going to be 15,000 students on campus, and it's not going to be at the expense of our culture. It's not, because what we cannot do is we cannot fall victim to just preserving tradition all the time. Tradition has to evolve, y'all. And you know, and this isn't mine. I actually took it from somebody else. The reality is, tradition, really and truly, is peer pressure from the grave. And for them, it wasn't fathomable in 1950 that there would be 15, 20,000 students at Kentucky State or Savannah State. Good. We got these 900 students, so it's easy to maintain a culture. It's the same deal. So while we're on this, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to lose momentum. We do have a lot more Black students that are interested, because make no mistake about it, we toggle between 9 to 12% of Black folk attending HBCUs. The majority of Black folks who attend college are not going to HBCUs to begin with. Georgia State graduates more Black students than any HBCU by far. So what I'm saying is, we can enjoy this growth, maintain our culture. We just have to be efficient about it, and we have to be expansive with our online programs, because that's where the majority of it is going to come from. So all that to say, I am ecstatic for the absolute growth that's going on at our HBCUs. I want it to continue, and I want to make sure that, you know, I want to hear your thoughts about that. Really, like, what do you think about the growth of our institutions? Head on over to Twitter at Nick Eden. Hit me up. Let me know what you think about it. And our final main topic comes to us from the Atlanta Daily World. Whew, I was running for a second because I'm like, golly, we got to get some Black-owned media in here. Well, HBCU Game Day was on there too. Will Packer, Dr. Lonnie Johnson, and more to be recognized at HBCU honors. Listen, so I'm going to summarize this really quickly. The show is actually being filmed tonight at Howard, but BET is honoring Will Packer, Fantasia, and MC Light at the second annual HBCU honors. Show will be filmed at Howard University's Crampton Auditorium and air on the network December 1st. Fisk University graduate Kim Whitley will host. Packer, the producer behind hits like the movie Girls Trip and the recent limited series Friday Night, The $1 Million Heist, is a FAMU graduate. MC Light, born Lana Moore, is a longtime member of the Board of Trustees at Dillard University. Shout out to Dillard University. If you don't know, my family is fourth generation Dillard University. Actually, we might be fifth at this point, but for sure fourth generation. My parents met at Dillard. I am a Dillard baby. Shout out to Dillard for winning the HBCU AC volleyball championship yesterday. I had no idea that MC Light was on the Board of Trustees at Dillard, and as many Dillard commencements as I've gone to, it never dawned on me. Wow. HBCUs have been a cornerstone of Black success for generations. My time at FAMU shaped who I am as a filmmaker and as a person, Packer said in a statement. Receiving this honor from a platform that celebrates that legacy is incredibly meaningful to me. I'm proud to be a part of this event that champions Black stories and excellence. Listen. Will Packer, Will Packer, I believe, will go down as one of the greatest producer-directors of all time. And that's because he maintains his core to his culture. And he does it in an excellent way. I did make a quick mistake on that, y'all. I said that Fantasia and MC Light will be honored. They're actually performing. Yeah. But shout out to Fantasia. Really shout out to Fantasia. Who's actually currently enrolled at Central State. So here now pretty soon, Fantasia is going to be an HBCU graduate too. And let me just go ahead and say this. I know it's easy to give a what's BET the smoke. they are very much so deserving of it a lot of times. No, they're no longer black owned. We know that. It's been over 20 years since Bob and Sheila Johnson sold. We get that. But shout out to them, because I think doing the HBCU honors is something that is needed. It's something that is highlighted. And even though we know, I think a lot of times as HBCU alums, we are stuck in our bubble. And our bubble of everybody should know this about HBCUs. And the reality is, a lot of times they don't. And that includes a lot of black folks. So shout out to BET for the HBCU honors. I'm going to find somewhere to watch it, y'all. I cut the cord on cable a long time ago. If it's on BET Plus, I'll look at it. I'll keep y'all posted on where it's going to be, because I know a lot of us cut the cord on cable. So I'll let y'all know where else it can be seen. But I would like to see the HBCU honors. In fairness and honesty and transparency, I did not see it last year. So I have no clue what the format of it is. I'm just glad that it's actually being, kind of put out there. Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna hold off for a second. And let me say this about my commercial breaks. I know I still get a little heat from y'all, because y'all like, Nick, way too many commercials. I keep telling y'all, I have advertisers to satisfy in that regard. But in addition to that, I keep telling y'all, I ain't missed a check yet. And it's funny, because I was looking at the commercials. I actually look at the commercials while I'm waiting for the show to come back on. And I was looking at the Nissan Rogue, and I'm like, dang, I just test drove a Rogue today. And I was thinking about buying one, because I need to buy a car like today. So like I said, ain't missed a check yet. But in any event, shout out to my advertisers, shout out to my sponsors, including my very first sponsor of this show, and that is Fiverr. It's not pulling up. But listen, y'all, get started with Fiverr today and watch your ideas come to life effortlessly. Simplify your project management on Fiverr and elevate your business efficiency. Scan the QR code today and experience the ease firsthand. Listen, I say this all the time, and I mean this. I generally do not like sponsors that I have not personally used and paid my money to use them. I know as this thing gets bigger, that's not going to be always the case, but I still want like social proof for what I'm taking on. I use Fiverr, y'all. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready for another merch drop, and I'm working on something real dope that's coming off of my it's another illustrator. It's not Marty, the one who did the did that. It's another illustrator, but I'm coming for something for this new merch drop. I'm telling y'all, it is so dope. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait for y'all to see it. And shout out to everybody who's bought the merch. Please send me pictures of you and your merch so I can post it on the show, on social media, give you your props, give you your thank yous, and just make sure that I'm giving y'all the proper due for what it is that you're actually doing for me, for the show, and supporting it. It's very much so appreciated. I appreciate it. And in addition to me appreciating it, so does Uncle Samson, y'all. So does Uncle Samson. See, y'all thought I was going to go to another commercial break. Yeah, that's what you thought. I told y'all, I'm a little all over the place today. My technology is not technologying like it should be technologying, but we still have enough time and we still have enough space for y'all to see my favorite part of the show, which is the fam topics. Why is this my favorite part of the show? It's really simple. The reason that this is my favorite part of the show is because these are the topics and questions that you, the viewer, have submitted to me, and you actually go through and say, hey, this is what we want to talk about. And if it's appropriate, we talk about it. And if you want your questions or comments on fam topics, really simple. Head on over to my socials, Twitter /X @Nick Eden, IG @Nick Eden. Click the link tree in the bio, submit your questions. So let's get right into our first fam topic. maybe we can. Okay. All right. So I keep hearing Morehouse to the MEAC. Why would they go there just to be the new Valley? Y'all, that was definitely out of pocket. Let me say this. First off, Morehouse does have other good programs, right? Everybody's not going to excel in football. And yeah, traditionally they have been pretty bad in D2. They've been great in basketball. Excuse me. They've been great in basketball. And there's so much more they have to offer. I think Morehouse and the MEAC adds to the prestige of the MEAC. I think the MEAC needs Morehouse as much as Morehouse needs the MEAC. And while I'm not the biggest fan of just snatching up all the D2 schools and leaving the SIAC and the CIAA kind of barren, I do believe in like some even trade. So even if it was like the MEAC is coming up and then Florida Memorial is coming up to the SIAC, I'd be more than ecstatic with that. But I don't think they're going to come. And let me say this. Valley didn't have to catch that stray. Now, I know I've given Valley a couple strays the last, couple of weeks. Valley did not have to catch that stray. And at one point, Morehouse was a contender, just like Valley at some point was a contender. Y'all, some of y'all acting like y'all programs have always just been top tier. That ain't always the case. Everybody got their dark period. And maybe this D1 move would be the thing to take Morehouse to the next level to get them back on track. So, all right. What we got next? It's just not going to come up on my end. My goodness. All right. Enjoy your mental break, King. You deserve it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, again, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. I don't know how much y'all. I'm not going to go into what happened. It is personal family business, but I do sincerely, and I mean sincerely, appreciate everybody who sent out the well wishes, everybody who was like, yo, take the time that you need, come back strong. All right, we got next. Can CAU really beat Miles? They're killing it right now. Yes, Miles is killing it. I was watching the SIAC championship game predictions on HBCU Game Day. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Simone. Shout out to I keep forgetting the other brother's name. I'm so sorry, but I think that Clark Atlanta can beat Miles. I do. They played them once already. They both have been undefeated since since Miles lost to Alabama State. They've been on a tear. They've been undefeated. Since Clark Atlanta lost to Miles, they've been on a tear. So you got two teams that are like jacked and ready to go, right? And one of them has already gotten a victory, and now we're at a place where the other has a chance to say, okay, we made mistakes in this last one, so let's not make those mistakes this time around. Coach Keaton has learned how to adjust very well. He's been adjusting very well. And, so I think that is going to be the decision maker in it. And I personally believe that Clark Atlanta takes it. I know I have a bias. It is what it is. Listen, y'all, it's 50 after the hour. We're going to take one of our last commercial breaks, and we'll be right back with the rest of our fam topics. It's In the Quad with Nick Eden.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Hey, sweet new gear. It's like Best Buy hooked you guys up.
Pretty sick, right?
What is that?
That's our traveling trophy. Oh, that's what's up, man.
Ah, a goat for the goats. Fits these pro-level setups.
Last year's trophy.
Not a goat.
Nope.
What if you could get all the latest and greatest gaming gear from one place?
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. We are right in the middle of our fam topics, and I want to go ahead and read our last two fam topics of the day. Let's see what we got here. Why is Ritz so damn toxic? All right, y'all. Look, let me say this. For those who don't know what they're talking about, Ritz is Rough in the Swag. It's a group's about 12, 13 years old. It's on Facebook, comprised of swag folks, even though every now and then some MEAC, some OVC, and some CAA folks try to sneak in. But it is Ritz is not for the weak. Erica put it best when we were talking the other day, and she was just like, look, MEAC is like, y'all can have y'all beef, but y'all gonna be laughing about it. Swag beef will ruin lives, and Ritz is actually a spinoff of the group Swag Beef. I'll say right now, I've been in Ritz about 11 years, and I've seen marriages broken up, marriages happen, swag babies being born, administration fired. Look, you name it, I've seen it. I promise you, it's happened in Ritz. So it is toxic. I ain't gonna hold you. It is toxic, but it's like the sun. Like, you're not supposed to look at it, but you cannot help yourself. That's kind of what Ritz is. I will say this much, y'all. We're older. We're a lot more mature. Some of us are a lot more mature. And for what it's worth, Ritz in this today's version of Ritz ain't nowhere near like it was before. It's a lot more tame than it was before. It is still a little bit toxic. So let's get it together, y'all. Let's get it together. We're grown. All right, and our last fam topic. I appreciate. I'm sorry. Thank you for your words about Tuskegee. I'm honestly not feeling going back to campus. I'm looking at virtual next semester. Shout out to you first and foremost. I hate to end this on a somber note, but shout out to you first and foremost. What you all went through. I didn't go through it with you. I had the same sense of scare. I made no mistake about the fact that my daughter was there when it happened. And I think to an extent, she kind of feels the same way. I would say this. And I hate to sound like a dad right now. So please forgive me. At your age, the thing about choosing the path of post-secondary education is that it's not just the degree that you get, right? You come out of there with connections. You come out of there with people who will go on to work at your alma mater or work at another school or lead a Fortune 500 company or, be the hiring manager or hiring director somewhere else. These are people that you went to school with. These are people that you shared time with on the yard. These are people that you built memories with. So yeah, you can get just a degree. Sure. It's a whole bunch of people with just degrees and no experience, no and this is coming from someone who's an advocate for online school. But I'm an advocate for online school for the working adult with previous college credits because they've at least within their field that they're in, excuse me, built some form of rapport or some form of camaraderie with someone along the way that has gone on to do something else. You may have done it in your time. I don't know the class designation of this person. That may be the case. You may very well be in your senior year. But I would say, unfortunately, these things can happen anywhere. My 9-year-old has active shooter drills at her elementary school. And unfortunately, it's just the time that we're in right now. It shouldn't be, but it is. So I don't think that going virtual will solve the problem. I do think, and I do absolutely recommend that you go and speak to someone, a school counselor, a professional counselor, somewhere where you can get some of this stuff off. I know it's a traumatic experience, but I do think that it is worth going back. And I joke about the Tuskegee Alabama State beef all the time. Tuskegee is a wonderful institution, and there are wonderful connections there. That again, I think don't pigeonhole yourself by not firmly cementing those connections. And that's just gonna lead me into my final thought of the day. I'm not gonna hit y'all with another. I'm not gonna hit y'all with another commercial break. Y'all be safe. I know y'all probably get tired of me saying that every week, but seriously, be safe. What we have right now is we have an incredible opportunity to show the world that even in the face of adversity, that we can not only survive, we can thrive. And we have to lean in and support our institutions like the Tuskegees, like the Albany States, like the Tennessee States, the A&Ts, the Alabama States, anybody else that's been a victim of this attack on us this homecoming season. If you get the opportunity, reach out to a student. Doesn't have to be your child. Reach out to a student, mentor them, help guide them through this. They need it. They need it. Show them that they're on the other side of this. It's so much better. It really is. Look, y'all, that's all I got for today. I will see you all tomorrow. We're going to talk about game of the week. We're going to talk about some game predictions. This is a big weekend for HBCU football. And I will talk to you all same time, same place. Take care.